Testing, testing. Okay, thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab Ban Yisrael, and welcome to my channel that I like to do. I like to go live Tuesdays and Fridays. Thank you for joining me. Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to try to do my best to share with brethren things that will apply to them and help them to redeem the time while we're on this, while we're in this reality, Jehovah. I just ask that you give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and I can share it, and I can speak clearly. I can speak with great understanding so that I can just relate the things to anyone who might listen to this channel. And Jehovah, I just ask that you use this time to glorify yourself and to enlighten us and the glory of your word and how the miracle of your word to us and how it is resonating with those who are ready to hear it, and help us to depart from the world and to believe in things that we cannot see and eternity. And so, Jehovah, I just thank you for all these things. And in your name, I give thanks. So let it be. All right, brethren, thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab Ban Yisrael, and welcome to my channel for Faithist, which is for brethren who can subscribe to the OAHSPE Guidebook Bible. It's the channel where I try to just talk about things, and I try to also use my life and share about things that have happened to me that I think are spiritually related and you probably be able to resonate with it to a minor degree, and just to show the miracle, the mystery of the Creator and how He works in our life. And so, welcome to my channel. I want to begin by talking about the ministry that you see on the screen right here. The sign that I have on the screen right here is a billboard project that the Unknown Many have taken upon themselves in collaboration with the Universal Faiths of Cosmin. And this is what the billboard that we are purposing to put up all over the world are going to look like. This billboard right here, minus my phone number. This billboard is something I think the Creator, He gave us inspiration to do. And so now we are embarking upon a mission to put one up in every city in America, and then go to and put one up in all the world to publicize the OAHSPE, which, in my humble opinion, is really the only hope for humankind. It's the only hope for humankind, man. You know, we see a situation in the world where basically people are talking about how America is in fast decline. And this time, I think that through the years, you heard people talk like that. This time, it's serious. Number one, being in the Cosmic era, which the Creator said was a new period of time, where there was going to be a shift in the consciousness and the spirituality of men, where we were going to be called to add corporeal, earthly maturity to spiritual maturity, put the two together, create the kingdom of the Creator here on earth. We're in that time. The time has come. But before it can come fully, the old has got to be taken out. The old way of things, the old tradition, the old ways of doing things, the old mindsets, the old consciousness, all of that has to be done away with. And it's not an easy, when you're talking about changing people's minds, that's got to be the hardest thing known to man, to change people's minds. And I think that only the Creator can do it, to change people's minds. That's what's going on right now. The OAHSPE is calling people to put down gods, lords, and saviors. Now, how easy do you think that's going to be? Have you ever talked to somebody who was really deep into their religion and their God worship? Have you ever tried to talk to somebody like that? You see how hard it is. It's when you talk about changing people's minds. And so there are people in the world right now who were already, they were equipped to be plugged in. As soon as the OAHSPE came on the scene, those people are called faithists, meaning they came into the light and then they immediately were able to hear it and they got plugged into the light to a point where they were able to abandon the worshiping of a God or a Lord or a Savior. They were able to see the logic in it. They were able to see the Creator and to hear His voice right away. Right away, man. Right away. It's a miracle. We can't explain it, but we know it. Talking about those who can receive what the Creator is doing right now. So again, on the screen here, here is the billboard that's going to be that we're going to put up starting August 31st. The first billboard will go up in Biscayne Garden, Florida. The first billboard is going to go up, and then September 14th, they changed the time on me. September 14th, the second billboard is going to go up, and I think the objective might not be able to be 3 billboards a month because it's pretty expensive. It's pretty pricey. And the link in my video channel here, I have a link for GoFundMe. If anyone, you hear this video and you like the project, you agree with it, then there's a way for you to help to take part in what we are doing here. And so there should be a link there in the video commentary section of my channel here. A link. I started a GoFundMe account to help to deal with the cost of putting up the billboards, which can be pretty pricey, man. You know, it can be pretty pricey, but I have faith in the Creator. I think it's a great idea. I think it was inspired by the Creator. And I just still sit here and shake my head at what, you know, how the inspiration came about. So it's a good opportunity for any brother or sister to chip in, take part in what we're doing. And also, I have other links there. I mean, you know, see, the OAHSPE, man, you know, I mean, the bottom line, one of the tenets of the OAHSPE is for brethren to use the time and try to be about taking off the worship of the self, primarily concerned with the ego, with the self, with me, with my self focus. That's pretty much the bottom line of what the OAHSPE is all about. The Creator, He gave us the OAHSPE in 1800s, and it's like I'll never forget what that one girl told me, man. I'll never forget it. And even just recently, I tried to find her. Now I knew her like 12, 13 years ago, and I tried to find her because of one thing she said to me, Asian woman. She said, when you're in a theater and you stand up, who's the only person you can't see? And I didn't know. She said, yourself. And she didn't know how profound a lesson that is. That was so profound. And I've been trying to contact her just to say thank you. Just to say thank you, man. Sometimes people, they say something to you, you're not ready to hear it right away. And then later on, a light comes on in your head. It shows you how the Creator work, you know. People all the time, they tell you things and you don't think about it right then and there. And then later on it hits you. That's what she did. And I tried to find her to thank her, man, to say, Diane, thank you. I really want to thank you for that. Was so profound what you said, you know, because it goes along with the OAHSPE. It go along with the OAHSPE, man. The Creator, we had gotten to a point where we could not see ourselves. We could not see ourselves. You could say it the other way too. Maybe we saw too much of ourselves, too self-focused, only able to see ourselves. And now the Creator is coming along. He's saying the problem is that You are preoccupied with yourself. You don't have the right mindset to inherit my higher heavens. You don't got it. You don't have the right mindset to inherit my higher heavens, man. You know, my higher where my higher heavens are. I got people here, they look to serve one another for real. I mean, these people that I got here in these Ethereum realms, these higher realms that you be hearing about, the type of people I got here, these are people who they love being around each other, they love talking to one another, they love relating to they love one another, they jump to help one another to do if someone, has a need. When I read the OAHSPE, that's the sense I get. It's simple as that, man. You know, and the creator, he just simply lays it out like that. Then he says to you, you make the choice. Do you want to be a part of this kingdom? At some point, you're going to be. The only problem is how long will it take you? Do you want to stay in the worship of yourself, or do you want to begin the resurrection process, which is to take off the self? Take off the self. Here go a book here called OAHSPE, and it's just going to show you how to do it. And plus, I'm going to empower you. You're going to read it. You're going to see that it's spiritual. You're going to see the anointing behind what the angels have given us. You're going to see it, and that's going to resonate with you, and that's going to be enough to take your focus away from the world and to my kingdoms, my eternal kingdoms. And that's all it's about. That's all it's about, man, And it's probably, the same. It's like on my channel here, I just say the same things over and over again, different ways. I just say the same thing over again, different ways. I flavor it a little differently. I try to give what the Creator give me in hopes that I might say something and it'll shed new light on your understanding and help you to be a better whoever you are to somebody else. That's what it's all about, man. It's the same thing. It's the same thing day after day on this channel here with a little different seasoning. Today I'm going to just do a little simple word study on darkness. Just let the OAHSPE speak for itself. On darkness, one of the effects it should make you thankful if you were faithless. See, the big advantage that we have is knowledge. Because you got great people. It's great people everywhere in the world. Knowledge keeps you from the pit, meaning deception. That's all it is. Now, there was one verse that it stuck in my mind. I don't know why, but it just stuck in my mind. And when something like that happens, I want to share it. Let me see. Now, how do I do this? All these months with StreamYard, and I still forget sometimes how to do this. All right. I want to this verse here, for some reason, let's see. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. This verse, it just sticks in my mind. Let's see if I can, the right one. Okay, I think this is it right here. I talked about this a couple of days ago. And it just sticks in my mind, man. Sometimes even right here on the channel, something crossed my mind and I'll just share it right away. This verse right here in Fragapati. Then Fragapati spoke, saying, Jehovah says, I've given man many talents. I've given man many talents. Make sure. I have given man many talents. Because the roadways are not open for their growth, he plunges into darkness. See that? And I don't know why the Creator put that on my mind and share it again, because it's really a warning. And it talk about the subtlety of deception that each of us have to deal with in our daily reality. It deals with deception, man. I'm talking to faithists, where we might get to a point where we heard it all, we know it all. You know what I'm saying? We bored. And I think here the creator is saying that that's a danger when you start, when you're not growing, you know, the information, it seems, one of the amazing things about the OAHSPE, you open it up and every page, man, it's like always something that just bless your soul. And that way, it's a living book, man. It's a living book. You can do, just turn it open to anything, man, and read something that's a miracle. It just resonate with you. Here this verse, it says, Then Fragapati spoke, saying, Jehovah says, I've given man many talents, but because the roadways are not open for their growth, meaning I'm thinking of that verse in Revelation chapter 3 where it talks about losing your first love. You don't grow anymore. There's no there's no roadways for you to learn new things. You lose the wonder of the first love when you begin to learn about what the creator is showing and teaching us. That's the roadway for growth, not or close is closing itself. The roadway for growth, man. And the creator says, you if you if you if you start to stagnate, it says you plunge into darkness. You go backwards. He's talking to Hoab here, Fragapati. Fragapati is talking to Hoab. He's trying to teach him how it's not good to just have a kingdom, and the people, they may even be satisfied where they are, not knowing that there's much greater than the reality that they're in. And you may be satisfied keeping them there, but they're not growing. They're stuck. They're stagnating in the place where they are. And at some point, they plunge into darkness. They start to regress, go backwards. They plunge into darkness. And then Fragapati is saying to Hoab, do not think that you can draw a line and say, oh man, you shall not do this or you shall not do that. You can't limit a man. We are made to constantly resurrect, constantly rise and grow. And I can't even imagine how you do that. That's what our fate is. That's what the creator, that's what part of what, that is part of our destiny, eternal growth for, I mean, we can't even imagine that. Do not think you can draw a line and say, oh man, you shall not do this or you shall do that. You can't limit a man. We can't limit the spirit that the creator put in us. We can't limit it, is what it's saying. You have to present a way where it will continually grow. It'll continually rise. And then he says, for you are powerless to hold him. He's talking to Hoab and anybody else who seeks to hold the spirit of man, hold him back, keep him stagnant, to keep him in his place. Like in this reality that we're in right now, you got a lot of dissatisfaction and people really rebelling. There's a lot of because people are seeing their piece of the pie shrink. You know what I mean? Their piece of the pie is shrinking. Meaning the prosperity, they what they feel is their inheritance, you know, their their efforts are not bearing the fruit that they think that their efforts should. It's a form of stagnation. And when you shut that door, you close that opportunity for people, what do? They're going to go backwards. They're going to, if there's no roadway for growth, man, now I'm just saying that because we are in a situation on the earth where I don't mean to be redundant. I think that the creator, I just have no doubt in my mind that he's going to get the whole world's attention. We may sit here and say, how is he going to move? How is the creator going to bring about cosmic? How is he going to bring about the kingdom? How is he going to bring back the reality, of the kingdom of the creator on the earth and the OAHSPE, the knowledge of the OAHSPE? How is he going to do it? What is he going to do? And that question is really getting answered. It's really getting answered really right before our eyes, but it's so subtle, you know. Now, I could talk day and night about the next few months because all I do here is keep up with what's going on in the world. I listen to analysts, I hear them talk, people who are in the know, people who know banking and finances and know international trade, and they are pretty much in consensus about where we are headed as a nation. And America is under a special density. I mean, a density of darkness, man. It's a real thick. Number one, we've been entitled for a long time. We really had a higher standard of living than probably most nations. And when you appeal to the flesh that way, the flesh is going to easily get bored. It's going to get tired, man. It's going to always want something new. It's going to want, what's the next flavor? Give me, entertain me. Okay, I heard that before. Tell me something else. That's that is the conditioning we've been under. You know, you always got to give them something new, or the flesh will get tired, can't hold attention, can't pay attention, can't endure. You know, that's where, as a nation, that's where you can. People don't have. That's why we got such a short attention span. And when you're talking about the creator, you're talking about the OAHSPE. One thing that I see that you need is endurance and consistency. Endurance and consistency, man, to what we are involved with, man. It takes work as a faithist to guard our hearts, guard our minds, because it's easy, man, to just get bored, to stagnate. The creator said, if we don't go forward, man, if we do not go forward, we will go backwards. That's what it says right here. If a man don't find a way to go forward, he will turn and go backward. He'll regress. I'm talking to faithists, man. We will regress. We'll go backwards in our spirit, our understanding, and our behavior. We will go backwards. You know, the creator, he don't negotiate with men. you know, Jehovah, he do not negotiate with people. In the world, it seemed to have this opinion, this mindset. You can negotiate with the creator. He do not negotiate. He don't debate with you. you know. See, that's what should get somebody's attention. You know, there are parents, people in the world, they do the same thing with their children, man. They don't, you know, children get to that age where they start wanting to, you know, they start wanting to reason. They start thinking. They start trying to philosophize, and you get that father. He ain't having none of it. He ain't having nut creator the same way, man. I'm not trying to be, the creator. He lays it down, and he do not debate. He don't. He just the creator seem like he say, look, you know, it, you know, either you either what's a good word I'm looking for? It's like, um, can't think of what I want to say. You know, he just tells you, here's my word. You know, if you can receive it, follow it. If not, then go the way that seems best to you. Just go go that way, man. You know, and when somebody takes that stance and they show you that, no, this is non-negotiable, man. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. Then they get the lesson. Then the human spirit, they seem to pick up on that when they are final in their stance, when they are final, like the creator is, that get people attention. And I read, and according to my highest light, the creator, he's not debating with you. He ain't arguing with you. He's just simply saying here, okay, you got to a point in your spirit on the earth, humankind, you know that life isn't all there is. You know you're gonna go somewhere. You've been asking me questions in the spirit. Where did my dad go? Where did my mom go? Where did my cousin go? All right, you've been asking me that for hundreds of years now. The time has come and I'm gonna tell you. So he give you his word, and then he leave it up to you. You know, you know, he just leave it up to you. Now, if you want to wait to find out whether what he is saying is valid, he let you have your wish too. He let you have your wish, man. See, when you read the OAHSPE, man, we all come from the creator. Each of us, life is the creator. And then if we read the OAHSPE and we see the tenets of, what the creator is telling us, the bottom line of everything, you know, what righteousness is, then it helps to understand. It helps it help you to understand. I mean, we should easily be able to agree on righteousness. Something that's good for everybody is righteousness. You know what I mean? And the basic message of the OAHSPE is to consider your brother. Consider your brother, not to seek your own, not to be self-focused. You know what I mean? All things can be wrapped up in that one message right there, so far as the OAHSPE and the creator saying, this is how you make my kingdom. And each of us should have that voice within us that tells us the right way to go. Really, that's all it is. And then the creator gives us this light, this word, the OAHSPE, and it just kind of reminds you. And unless you're so far gone, you can't even tap into what you can't even tap into what righteousness is. You're so jaded that you've forgotten, you just don't even know what righteousness is. Treating others the way you'd like to be treated. You know what I mean? You know, to try to go about, good works and being a benefit, whatever way you can, being more apt to give than to receive, you know. You know what I mean? From what I understand, we were created that way. The creator is part of us, man, and the part of us that is polluted, that's where we've corrupted the light that is naturally in everybody. That's why we should be able to hear the OAHSPE, the goodness, the righteousness that it talks about, the, communities and raising of orphans and young children and looking out for one another. It should make sense, man, and there are a lot of religions that say the same thing. The only problem is that when you get men involved and they see an opportunity to subjugate other men, that's where the problem come in. When you give people who are in power and authority control over the lives of other men, you got problems, because you will get used and abused. Just look at the men who go to war, you know. Just look at people who go to war for the interest of the rich and elite. When you turn yourself over, that's why the creator is against the militaries and wars and fightings. Because the spirit of man is he seeks to dominate his brother. He talks a good game about how much the, military, the army, they're special, they're the best in the world, because he knows that that you are keeping his kingdom alive. Manipulation, man. People are naturally inclined to manipulate one another, take advantage of one another. And now people are beginning to wake up. They beginning to see that we're under a lot of talk. People, they talking all kinds of things, saying, promising people things. And people are looking up at their electric bill, looking at their food bill, and they finally catching on that, hey man, you know what? These people ruling over us, they ain't about blip, blip. And if you open up the OAHSPE, the creator, he already tell you that that was the case. He already tell you, man, that in our day, our leaders were going to be corrupt. They were going to be rogues, and the trend was going to continue. As far as I know, since the OAHSPE was published, it was going to continue from then up till now and into the future. You know what I mean? And if we look, we can certainly see that's done come to pass. We under corruption. I mean, it's in your face, you know. And you know what's funny? I was telling somebody today about the revelation that's in Trump's name. Trumpets, man, trumpets. His first vice president was named Pence. His second vice president is Vance. You can make a case that you put both of their names together with Trump, you get trumpets. When you repeat something twice, like, let's see what the internet said. I wonder, let me see. When someone says something twice, what does it mean? When someone says something twice, it usually means emphasis. They want to make sure you heard them or buy time to think. Check this out. A stronger meaning, it says repeating a word or a phrase makes it stronger. Saying bad means very bad. Okay, but I want something stronger than that. Let me turn to the Bible. When the Bible repeats something twice, what does that mean?
When the Bible repeats something twice, it usually highlights the message's importance, or it emphasizes certainty. Think of it as a divine way to get your attention.
Certainty, or serves a divine call to attention. It means certainty and imminence, attention grabbing. But I want to see where it says trouble ahead, trouble coming. Let me see if I can. Let's see. When someone says something twice, does it mean, oh? When someone says something twice, does that mean trouble ahead?
Repeating something doesn't necessarily mean trouble. It could show they feel unheard, anxious, or are very passionate about what they're saying.
It doesn't always mean trouble ahead, but it often signals that they feel ignored, anxious. Okay, that's on a personal level. Why people repeat themselves: anxiety or stress, feeling unheard. Okay, emphasis, cognitive issues. Okay, so this is more on a personal level. I'm looking for something that says trouble. You know, I'm telling you again, twice, there is trouble. I think that with President Trump and his name, I mean, because that's beyond the realm of coincidence. Trumpets, that's too beyond the realm of coincidence. So I think that when you couple that with the cosmic era that the creator is saying, it's this way of telling you on a corporal level, there is an event that is coming that you better look out for. You better take heed. You better pay attention to what's coming. And now we in a situation, we look around, we looking at a man who is ruling over the strongest, most powerful country in the world, ready to bankrupt it. I'll spare you, man, from what I could talk about. You've already heard me, man. I'm only telling you because it affects you. We live in a reality where, if, in my humble opinion, people are going to put down. They're going to put down. They're going to get humbled. I don't mean to sound harsh, man. I think that we in a situation, in order to get somebody's attention, you got to humble them. You know, that's how you soften the heart. That's how you soften the heart, man. You got to humble somebody. And I think that America's head, I know, the creator said America is going to be the place where the light, it goes out all over the world. America has a special place. But look at where we are now. We are as proud as can be, man. We got a little bit of knowledge, and now we are puffed up. We got a lot of pride, man. We got a strong sense of entitlement. This country here, America, it has a lower spiritual grade than Iran. Let me see if that's really true. Let me ask something. Let me look at something again. I think AI is going to lie to me this time, but let me see. Does Iran have a homeless problem?
Yes. Iran is facing a serious and increasing homelessness issue. This problem is caused by tough economic times, high inflation, and widespread poverty.
And part of the reason why I asked is because I was listening to this journalist. I was listening to this journalist covering the war. He said that everywhere he went, he couldn't see one homeless person in Iran. Not one. He couldn't see it, man. A journalist. And I believe it because coupled with now they may have a lot of problems the way they authoritarian and, a dynasty, but they're under a culture that is more dignified than Western hemisphere. The way, they have more, they've been a nation for 6,000 years. They have a culture that we don't have over here, And I met some of them people, man, and they are just as generous as the day is long. They are Persian people, Arabs. You got videos of how people get treated when they go over to where is that, Dubai, or before it was bombed to hell, and how the people treat you. See, that's Middle Eastern culture over there. The Arabs, the Persians, the Sunnis, the Shias, that's their culture. They don't let people go without, is what I'm saying over there. But come over here, come and visit old Yaquab in Tucson, Arizona, and let me take you around. Let me show you around this place. Now, this is just one little, one little part of the nation. And then let me drive you up to Phoenix, let you look at the homeless problem there, and then drive you over to Cali, over to the Bay Area, and take you straight to the Tenderloin. Let you see, and it's all over the place. All over the place, man. America's spiritual grade. It just seems like we are being set up to be humble. And when you touch people's flesh, when you touch their flesh, man. Hey, Brother Davis, if you listen, Brother Phil Davis, brother, I love what you said in the Wednesday study. I loved it, man. I loved it so much, man, where you said it's time for us to see the Creator work in our day. Some manifestation, man. Some manifestation of power, even though we see it every day in creation. To see if he'll really take care of us in the trouble that's ahead. The brother said it's time for us to see that. It's time for you faithists to see that, man. We're we are promised protection. that when the world around us, when it crumbles, because people have no foundation, they've been seeking themselves and not the Creator. You know, the Creator, He leaves you, He gives you your free will, man. If you want to sow to the earth, He lets you. But when you sow to the Spirit, man, and you take your reality, you take your life, man, and you use it to seek things above. From what I could read, when I read the OAHSPE, the inner light that I have, the Creator, we come under protection. And we at a time right now where people's protection is going to, their trust, their assurance in the world is going to be greatly shaken. And that may be the open door for the OAHSPE. It may be the open door, man. That the open door where faith is, that the Creator, He puts a megaphone in our voice for the world to listen to this message that we carry in here. I don't know. I could be wrong. I seem to think that based on the events of the world and where we are heading and the things that are going on that have never happened before, I think that the Creator is setting America up. And when you get somebody who's proud, man, you know, when you get, you know, the only way to remedy that, man, is to humble them. You see what I mean? And again, man, I'll spare you from what I know about the days, weeks ahead of us. I feel I've talked about it enough. Man, where the whole world, the Creator is going to get our attention. He is going to get our attention. He's going to get our attention, man, you know. Remember that part in the OAHSPE where He said, I will make them look up? And even though He was talking about another time period, I think that's one of the ways that the Creator operates. We saw where He sunk a continent, you know. We see that He gets, when they go down, when they stagnate and they go backwards, the Creator steps in. He get your attention. He get your attention, man. Let's do a word study on darkness. That's the title of the video. And here's the website that I didn't even mention, man, for anyone new to the OAHSPE. Here's the website where you can get ministry and information. With the billboards going up, I imagine that people are going to be checking in with the Faithist website here. The ministries that they have, the things they believe. That Faithist believe, the Faithist website. I think I have a link for it in the video description area. You can find out about it. Let's go to the word study, man. The title of the video is a simple word study on darkness, man. A word study on darkness. Simple little word study on darkness. And if I get a chance at the end of the video, do a couple of verses on the Gospel of Thomas, and then I'm going to close the video. And I probably won't be able to get to it. I haven't been able to get to it in the last couple of days. So let's do a study on the word darkness. Let's see what the OAHSPE simply has to say about darkness. Darkness. What does he say about darkness? What does the Creator say about darkness? The first mention, so man ate fish and flesh, and becoming carnivorous, and darkness came upon him. So here's the deception of man, you know. I think it was Satan came along, the evil influence. Man's beginning to live in communities and cities. Satan comes along and says, hey, 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 all things are yours. Do what you want. War entered the world. Men began to eat fish and flesh, taking no thought of tomorrow, and then becoming carnivorous. Darkness came upon him, and he no longer heard the voice of Jehovah or believed in him. And this was the fifth error. That's the situation we in today. You have to attribute the darkness in the world today, man. The creator here, he says a lot of it is meat eating. I don't understand it personally. He's telling us something spiritual, you know. The next mention of darkness. What am I, O Jehovah, without you? Or how am I to find the glory of your creations? Other than by the light of your countenance. You raised me up out of sin and darkness and clothed me in light. I perceived the smallness of myself in your great works. You have bound me to travel on the earth, to sojourn with beasts of all types of creeping things, nor have you given me one attribute in which I could boast over them, except in the power of destruction. The high firmament you have placed above me, the stars, moon, and sun. I know you have been there, but I am bound down in a little corner of your works. Neither do I have power to rise up to your distant places, nor to know your extended heavens. Look at that. What am I, O Jehovah, without you? What am I without you, man? Or how am I to find the glory of your creations other than by the light of your countenance? You raised me up out of sin and darkness. And so, you know, there's a lot that can be said about that. That's just something, you know, you think about that. There's such a thing as darkness. We, the situation faithists are in, if we had not been given this revelation, we would not have come out of religion. We would not have come out of religion. We have not come out of religion. Such is the voice of man, O Jehovah, and all the nations of the earth. This voice raises up to you, as you spoke to Zarathustra, Abram, and Moses, leading them forth out of darkness. Oh, speak, Jehovah. So I'm jumping in the middle of a thought here. It's obviously, I think it's the book of Tay, where man is questioning the creator as to his reality, the character of his reality, and really, it's the voice of all men. The book of Tay is like the voice of what men having a conversation with the creator. That's what makes it such a great book. Men having a conversation with the creator, wanting to know why everything is, why it is what it is. This is an interesting chapter right here, man. This is something I could, you know, where he talks about the corruption the corruption of our reality. I want to stick to the word study. For one rich man, there are 1,000 poor, and their interests ceaselessly conflict with one another. Labor cries out in pain, but capital strikes them with a heartless blow. Ain't that the truth? You got that even today, man. People struggling to pay their rent, you know. They got 3 jobs. You know what I mean? Labor cries out in pain. We need more. We need a pay raise. We can't take inflation. We can't take any more taxes. Labor cries out in pain. But capital says, nope, sorry, man. You know, the state needs more revenue. And that means you. That means your property taxes. That means your groceries. That means your, you know, capital strikes him with the heartless blow, man. You know, it's just another little form. It's just really, these are like forms of darkness all in itself, man. This whole chapter here, man. Look at this. Because the state is rotten, the politician feeds on it. See, you can get started here. In the book of Tay, you can get started, man. You can just go off. Because the state is rotten. See, this should resonate with anybody who read it. Your spirit, it should. You should be able to see, man, this is I'm sorry, but this is telling me the truth. Because the state is rotten, the politician feeds on it. Because society is rotten, the lawyer and court have riches and sumptuous feasts, It's pretty pinpoint, spot on in the world that we live in right now. Isn't it? Isn't it right on target? Because the flesh of my people is rotten, the physician finds a harvest of comfort, meaning the healthcare industry, And remember, did y'all see the story of that one dude? It has to do with because the flesh of my people is rotten, the physician finds a harvest of comfort. You know what I could say this is talking about in the news? I don't know if y'all heard about it. Have y'all heard about Luigi Mangone? Do y'all remember him? You know what he did? It goes right along, man, with this. It's just amazing how, here, let me show you what he did. Now, this guy's name is Luigi Mangone, right? Luigi Mangone.
You can find the official Luigi documentation.
Who is Luigi Mangone? There he is, right there. Y'all know what he did? I'll give you a second. Y'all remember what he did, right? He shot a healthcare CEO dead because they denied his back injury, his premium for back injury, for back pain, if I'm not mistaken. Luigi Mangone, he shot the CEO of a healthcare company. I'm trying to find a little more on him. And a lot of people, they started donating to his defense fund because he shot the CEO of a healthcare company that was denying people's claims for healthcare. It just like the OAHSPE says, man. It's just like what the OAHSPE says. Because the flesh of my people is rotten. People in physical, medical need, pain. Because the flesh of my people is rotten. Now my screen won't let me change. I'm trying to go back to the screen. If it'll just let me, let's see. Don't want to, there we go. Because the flesh of my people, wait a minute, that's not the one I want. Here it is. And it still won't let me change. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Because the flesh of my people is rotten, the physician finds a harvest of comfort, meaning healthcare companies are going to profit off of the sickness, the medical needs of people. How do you like that for the OAHSPE, man? You know what I mean? How do you like this type of stuff, man? Now, I don't want to get stuck on going through like this one chapter, and I lost my word study guide, so let me get that back. All right, so let's look at another one. We're doing a little study on darkness. Do not think, O angels, that the resurrection of your hearers and their descendants who come up out of the earth is an easy matter, and of steady progress devoid of mishaps and woeful darkness. Do not think, O angels, that the resurrection of your hearers. Now, I would have to go back up and read a little bit of this. Job said, God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven. Would that be the emerald tablets, I wonder? Are what do they call those tablets that record thoughts? The they record thoughts and some tablets. What's the name of that? Somebody knows what it is. They're called, I forget, there's a name for it, I forget what it is. Job said, God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven of his dominions and those of his lords. and he and they shall enjoin it upon their successors forever to keep a like record. And in times of my harvest, a copy of these records shall be taken up to my Ethereal kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the roadway of the travel of the great serpent for their deliberations regarding the progress and management of the inhabitants of the earth and the heavens. So how do you like that? You know, the Creator, he's telling us that they get the Ethereans and the Orion chiefs, you know, they see that the earth is approaching. The angels, they deliver up the records and they study the records and the files, and then they decide, okay, here, bring them into AG. Okay, no, don't take them over to the fields of Juan over there. You know, no, take them to the Ark of Woe over there. You know, they need that. The earth need that right now. You know, this is what this is saying right here. They determine where we need to go. The solar phalanx, the sun and the planets, they say, okay, this is the grade of the people. So remember, the solar phalanx is like it's like a coiling snake in this, you know, curvature and this movement, you know. So it's like one part of, if I'm not mistaken, according to my highest understanding, you could get like one part of the solar phalanx going through this region in the Ethereal realm, and another part going through another realm, you know. One part going through tribulation and trial, another one going through a time of light, you know. Now, I could be wrong, you know. That's what it sounds like here, what it's saying. In the times of my harvest, a copy of the records of the gods and their lords, meaning they're going to make a record of their administrations, what went on the earth. They're going to deliver it up. The Ethereans, the Orion chiefs, going to get a copy of it. In the roadway of the travel of the great serpent, the files, these records shall be taken up to my Ethereal kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the roadway of the travel of the great serpent for their deliberations. Why? Regarding the progress and management of the inhabitants of the earth and their heavens. See? So they get the records, they sit down, they deliberate, okay, what's best for us, our spiritual grade, what do we need for our growth? And then the Creator, he says, do not think, O angels, that the resurrection of your heirs and their descendants who come up out of the earth is an easy matter and a steady progress, devoid of mishaps and woeful darkness. So the Creator is saying, don't think that it's easy peasy. You know, resurrection, easy peasy, devoid of darkness and mishaps, you know. I'm telling you, man, that's how you get humble, you know. Yesterday, I had a bad day, man. You know, I was acting corrupt, you know. I got an evil influence on me, you know, to where I just wanted to just break something in half. I don't know where that, it's a Trojan influence, you know. You know, the good thing is that a faith is you can know what's happening to you. And so when you don't know, it makes things worse. And you could just begin to do battle in the spirit, you know, to warn that spirit. I know who you are, I know what you're trying to do. And I just empower my angels, my righteous angels, to shut you down. You know, faithists, they do stuff like that. We do spiritual battle, you know. And then it goes on, it talks about the angels under you shall become times rebellious and disregarding your laws and decrees, and they shall desert your heavenly place. This is talking about angels under the righteous gods. Okay, but I ain't going to get sidetracked. Let's go and look at some more verses on darkness. Here it says, but in times of great darkness which shall come upon the earth and these heavens, I will bring the earth into Danha. My Etherean shall come in my name and deliver them. Okay. Excuse me. Hiccup. Better drink something. Get a hiccup. Let me do a couple more verses on darkness and see if I can get to the Gospel of Thomas and close video. So let me see if I can get a good one on darkness. Let me see if I can get something really good. Let's see what this says. It says, you are one of the cornerstones of Cephas. Who? Be swift in your labor. Be swift in your labor. The people spring up from the earth rapidly in the heaven. So it sounds like the beginning of the earth. And the first angels are being told, they're saying, God is saying, get to work right away, man. The people are coming up into the spirit fast. You shall now establish in time to come to be a great kingdom requiring experienced workmen. Whoever labors most efficiently for Jehovah, I will promote the wider fields. You are the cornerstones of Cephas. Okay, I can't get into this right now. Cephas means established culture, also enforce, meaning like things, traditions, and institutions, and the king in man's kingdom, in his world. Cephas is one of the entities of the Creator. They're entities of our realities, things that make up our reality. Cephas is one of them, things that are established culture, also enforced culture, governments, governing bodies, institutions, organizations, organized culture. And then the angels are getting warned about what's going to happen in their administration of the earth. It's really the character of our world today, really. But I want to find something else for darkness. I want to find something. I'm going to get one more verse on darkness. Oh, we looked at this the other day, talking about separation. There's a separation in the OAHSPE. The OAHSPE, one of the basic things about it is separation, man. Like goes to like. You go to your own kind, man. Remember, I was trying to share, if you like the flavor of the earth, you like the vibration of the earth, the Creator, he don't argue with you. He gives you over to the vibration of the earth. He give you over to the vibration. If you resonate with the earth, the spirit of the earth, he hand you over to the heavens that deal with your liking, But if you faith this and you're trying to make the resurrection, that means that you want to be joined with people who they are just people who, how everybody wants to be around people who they enjoy being around, people who help them, encourage them, who build them up, a better grade of people who are willing to share with you, willing to be concerned about you, willing to have your best interests at heart. That's what it's all about, man. I'm telling you, man, that's what it's all about. And the Creator, he says that don't just happen, man. You got to work for it. You got to adjust yourself, man, while we are here on the earth. Because he says that in the spirit, it could take longer, way, way longer before you can make the resurrection. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, man. That's the seriousness of this whole thing. If you let this reality, if you let it blind you, if you let this reality stagnate you, meaning you're not growing, you're stuck on the here and the now and the things that people do, and it preoccupies your thinking, and your emotions and feelings cause you to lower your spiritual grade, that is a terrible tragedy, man. If you don't learn how to redeem the time, man, and the fight, I'm gonna share something real quick, man. I have to share this. I know I'm gonna sound kooky. I'm gonna share it anyway. Every now and then, to waste time, I like to play chess. I play chess, and I know some days I shouldn't play because it gives me a bad attitude. Because people cheat. It's easy to cheat. I've done it a couple of times until one time, and when I came into OAHSPE, I did it one time after the OAHSPE, and then I said, you know what? That's the end of that. To get back at somebody, you turn on the chess machine and you cheat on them. It happens all the time, right? And then I came into the OAHSPE. I did it one time after that. I said, you know what? It ain't worth it, man. That ain't worth me. My dignity is not worth sacrificing to win some stupid little game. And since then, I kept that promise, Your dignity, man, is always on display, and it's always being tested, man. And it matters for an eternity how you treat it, and how you let others affect it. And then, sometimes, man, I still I play it, chess to pass the time. It make the time go by fast. And there's some days I know I shouldn't play it because what happened during the day, if I laid an egg, during the day where I said something I shouldn't have, or I acted the way I shouldn't have, or I did something I shouldn't have, and then the vibration come on me say, well, why don't you play a game of chess, pass the time, Sometimes I'm sure to say, man, you better not play today, You better not play today. And sure enough, I'll play and get the hell beat out of me, you know? Be one move from checkmate, and then I end up losing by checkmate. And so chess can be frustrating. My mind is to not play it as much anymore, but every now and then I do. And then I get the hell beat out of me 10, 11, 12 straight times. My score will go down 100 points, some days I play it, go up 200, 300 points. Some days I play it, go down 100 points, Usually on days where you laid an egg spiritually, you laid an egg. It's like one of the ways that the Creator keeps you balanced, And man, I just believe that that's the Creator. I think He really does things like that to faith us, There's got to be some guardrails, man. There's got to be some constant reminders to help you to stay on the straight and narrow, man. To keep the Creator in your mind, man. Don't let the world, don't let it suck you. Don't let it deceive you. If you let the world, man, it'll keep you preoccupied all your life, man. Meaning you'll sow to the flesh. You'll sow to the flesh, man. You won't sow to the spirit, man. You sow people will come out of the woodwork, man, in order to keep you tied to the earth. Keep you, in the low vibration of the flesh. Will say, come and do so. I'll give you another good example, man, of how things go. I just put up a billboard in Atlanta, right? Or, well, you know what I mean. The unknown many, We put up a billboard in Atlanta, I thought I reserved it. They came back and said, nope, somebody else got it. And I got the cuss, in my heart, in my mind, because I wanted that one, man. I wanted that spot. I wanted it, man, right there and damn near right to the entrance to Atlanta, man. Big billboard, OAHSPE, only hope for mankind, right? I clicked on it. I thought I had it. They called me a couple of days later. They said, oh, man, we're sorry, man. Somebody purchased it. They reserved it before you, and we didn't catch it in time. So we have to reserve it for them and not for you. And I just, and it immediately, my mind said, see, just like that verse we just got finished reading, where the Creator said, don't think that resurrection is without mishaps and, and frustrations. And He said, don't think that way, And so I got hold of myself. It's a struggle, man. It's always, at least in my reality. At least in my reality, so until I learn to expect it. And then now you're on your way to becoming the bride and the bridegroom now. When you get rid of the quicker we let go of the vibration of the earth, man, the quicker that it don't have no more influence on us. Them Ethereans, them Orion chiefs, they say, yeah, he's ready. Go ahead and mark him down for the next harvest. He's ready to cross the bridge of Chinbat. Yaikwab is ready to cross the bridge of Chinbat. He ready to cross the bridge of Chinbat, man. That's separation from Etheria and the earth. That means that there's no more that can trigger you. No, put you in an evil vibration, make you want to get back, lash out, revenge, strike out, that sort of thing. That's the flesh that we got to take off. You know what I mean? Darkness, man. Darkness. What is this saying? My joy is in the birth and growing up of souls, and in the joy of their joys, and in the proclaiming of their adoration for my balanced universe. And that's something Creator. He wants us to adore the boundless unity. He wants us to adore it, man. You know that? Do you know that, man? Here we are, we on the earth. Nothing ever changed. you know. But then go and read about the heavens, man. I mean, the earth is the densest region, but the spiritual, those are those are lighter regions, meaning better realities and more glorious. You know what I mean? That's that's really the thing to focus on. That's what helped you to put the world in its place. The Creator talking about us, he said, I call them in darkness and they come forth. But they halt in darkness. I call again. Some faithists are like this. And Uzians are like this a lot. Uzians, the unenlightened, don't believe in the Creator, don't care, Faithists, some faithists are like this too. They hesitate. They're hard to, they procrastinate. The light is calling you. I call them in darkness, meaning we're in darkness. We're here. We're on earth. We're surrounded by darkness, ignorance, and unenlightenment. I call them in darkness. The Creator says, I call them in darkness. And they come forth. Okay? Sounds like a creator. He comes forth, but he kind of stumbles. He wonders about this, wonders about that. He says, they halt in the darkness. The Creator says, I call again. I send my higher upraised angels to them. And they call also. Yes, I fill sky with the splendor of my world, spirit and physical, corporal, so I may stir man up to rise and enjoy the things. Look at that. That's the whole thing right there. The Creator. He said, yes, I fill sky with the splendor of my world. Can you think of the splendor of my world? If the earth is glorious and a lot of, you go to the Grand Canyon and the splendor of that, it ain't nothing compared to the Creator. And splendor of his worlds, man. I don't know. I just think about stuff like that keeps me going. Yes, I fill the sky with the splendor of my worlds, spirit and corporal, so that I may stir man up, that I may stir him up to rise and enjoy the things I've made. See, there's the whole message of the OAHSPE right there. We can't give it to nobody. Nobody even listen to us. That's a terrible shame, ain't it? We can't, Wow, man. That's a crying shame, man. That's the end of the video. Go to the chat, see if anyone's in there. And, of course, Brother Elijah. All right. Good enough, man. Brother, thank you for joining me, Elijah. Again, I want to direct anybody's attention to the video commentary section where there's a link for the GoFundMe I've established. If anybody wants to chip in for the Billboard project, and there's other information in there for the books to prison, for the Faithist website, and there's a couple other links in there for free OAHSPE and the 6-volume set of the OAHSPE. How to they're on Amazon, but if you are a little short on funds and you'd like to have one or the other for free, just get in contact with the information in the video commentary section. All right. Thank you, brother, for joining me. Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to try to share and be a light while I'm in this reality. Share with my brethren. Take advantage of the time that we're living in, especially as we see what's on the horizon, where there is a time where it seems that people are going to have their foundations really shaken, and they're going to be made aware of what is really what is really important in our life while we're on the earth, and to realize that all things are temporary except the spiritual and eternal, Jehovah. And I realize that it must be this way before you can get people's attention. I just ask you, help Faithists to have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to go through it. And if you open the door for us, that we can speak with great force, great power, and love, and light, and wisdom to show our fellow man in the earth the light and the kingdom. And so, Jehovah, thank you for the opportunity again. And I ask that you will the billboard project, that you will that it will be successful in publishing the light of the OAHSPE and publicizing it and making it mainstream in the world today. So Jehovah, just thank you so much for this opportunity. And until we meet again, thank you. And brethren, thank you for joining me. And until we meet again, peace be unto you. Shalom.